September 5th, 2025, Riot kicked Koi out of VCT. After numerous contractual breaches that included underperformance in Tier 1, poor skin sales, lack of content production, and not fulfilling co-streaming obligations, Riot had enough. But there's one offense so shockingly disgusting that I can't help but support Riot's decision.
Alright kids, this better be good. I was in the forest wrestling with a bear claw when we got the call.
Losing to pre-buff Harbor. In this match, Karmine Corp drowned Koi with their home-brewed Harbor tech and exposed these professional frauds to the world. I mean, losing to this guy with pre-nerf Teo. Riot shouldn't just ban Koi from pro play. They should get their money back. Have you ever wondered why your ranked teammates never listen to you? Well, I know why. They must be wearing Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds, which are the best on the market. With 8 hours of playtime and a 36-hour battery life with the case, these have improved my life. They play the perfect amount of volume for your music and don't stop you from hearing important things around you. Like our new cat Gunther won't stop complaining when he's hungry. So with these earbuds, I can write my scripts in peace, but still know when I need to feed Fatso. The Essential Open Earbuds are the most comfortable earbuds I've tried on and never fall out thanks to their ultra light and flexible ear hook. You also never have to worry about connecting to your different devices over and over because you can switch between your phone and your laptop seamlessly. I've been using these pretty much every day since I got them, whether I'm at the gym, running errands, or just working from home. They're the ones I actually reach for over my other earbuds because I can still hear what's going on around me without sacrificing sound quality. And the Essential Open Earbuds are here for the holiday season, but they are selling fast. Raycon audio products are up to 20% off this holiday season. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/teetsopen to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. And order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas, because great gifts should not show up late. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Now, I'm not 100% sure all the details on exactly why Koi got banned. It could really be a bunch of things. Ibai Llanos, the team's owner, was supposed to watch party a ton of games with his 20,000 viewer audience, but then stopped for mental health reasons. That's okay, but Riot probably didn't like that. To pile on their abysmal record, lack of content, poor skin sales? Oh, weird, I thought their skins were nice looking. And the fact that Gentlemates just got booted out of Tier 1, who have die-hard fans? I think Riot just made a rushed business decision. Koi said that Riot didn't warn them, but Riot said they did. It's a mess. But what I do know is that they lost to a Harbor while running pre-nerf Teo. So this video probably doesn't help their case. On Pistol, KC went A and used their high tide to safely funnel us 5 through tree. The only thing is that they took too long.
Already we see Koi trying to re-clear this A space, and KC are going to be caught off guard here.
Yeah, looking at the damage so far, KC just falling like flies. This is simple work. This doesn't even seem complicated. Just re-clear. Oh, that wasn't pretty. Miracles. First challenge, not clean enough. Not going to happen for Alive.
Either Harbor put his wall up too early or the attackers weren't fast enough, but Karmine Corp didn't have enough time to set up their post plant or plant in this god spot. Then on the anti-eco, the offense tried planting B, but Shadows blew them up with his missiles, and Martine's body ragged off like this, which was pretty funny. Like, look at him, like... Okay, jokes aside, it's Karmine Corp's first full buy, and they're defaulting B and C at the same time in their 2-2-1 spread, while the offense are focused on securing Rumble in their own 1-1-3. So, how much Sentinel utility can a Harbor comp break? Well, it starts by sending a Cascade through B main with a Prowler close behind and a Haunt for Mound. This wall acts as a shield for the Prowler to not get shot, so anyone in B main should get bitten. B's clear, so you see Martine walk across and open the door as Sugetsu smoke bloomed, to effectively take 2/3 of the map, but they want more. Now, before we talk about that, back on A, Sugetsu also smoked across early so Elite could leak out and try and find a kill.
See if those nerves are warranted. There's a lot of work happening over towards Mound, but this fight...
He has to fall back and can't claim A for his team. But that's okay, because back on C, Harbor has flipped up his high tide to protect Martine's clone, but it gets spammed and can't trigger Soulcast's wall. By placing it deeper, like you see here, it counters Yora's decoy, but still holds most of the site for the defense. And now, even though the shear is still active, a big-ass wall smoke like this would keep any defenders here. And now, in response to losing so much, Shadows activates his cell drone from Secret to tell his teammates on A what they should do next. next. And it gets broken from far back on B. So if the offense didn't trigger this wall and have backed off of B, the odds of them coming back to re-clear A are really high. But as Fade goes over, does she expect the stack? Now the attacker's plan is to end C, but you can see the pings from Karma Corp on Rubble telling us that they're talking about having to re-clear this first. Hey, Omen. Yeah? Get on top of me.
Hey, yo, what did you say?
Here, Elite's pushed back already, so they're going to have to kind of go through that later.
Yep.
But look out for that on this game. Like, how quickly Casey...
If two people are A, C and B must be weaker. Harbor and Fade act quick by cascading for the haunt and hightailing it over to C. And the defense are pushed back? Wait, why did you teleport? Were you just gonna bait your Omen? Regardless, the Harbor comp is all over Mound, and we have to ask ourselves, is he enough to beat Vice's setup?
Rentals here, and they weren't kind of focusing on it in I guess, quote-unquote, the right way. But let's see how this actually shakes down now, as Casey do need to start committing to one of these two sides. It looks like C will be the eventual goal. Soulcast trying to stick around. He does a flyer who's just gone down.
They made it in, and Vice's wall funneled Aves right into Flya. And now stuck behind Harbor's high tide, the defense have to retake. But as his water wall drops, Sugetsu replaces it with his dark cover. They pepper through the smokes, trying to land some damage, but their win condition isn't spam. It's time.
Time is getting very low now. They're gonna start getting, I don't want to say worried, but it's getting close too. There's only a corner to play from the Cove. Keep them just about safe, and the brawl begins. It's Soulcast to tip the scales, but only to be traded. Down to a 3v2 with Shados and Gravina remaining. It's all on Shados. The 1v2 is not impossible. It's looking improbable, but a great start for Shados so far. Aves and Sadak to locate. Not gonna happen. Good response from Casey.
Harbor's Cove saved Carmine their first full buy. Without it, the plant would have gotten cancelled and there would have been no time left. The neat thing about Harbor's Cove is that it isn't just used to protect people, and we're going to see Carmine Corp use it in other ways, like to get info, but not here. Both teams are geared up to slam right into one another.
Always like the nightmare creature. If it becomes to life, we're all screwed. Oh, hold on, we'll come back to that, because yeah, this is an absolute biff down middle. Who's willing to try and keep committing?
But first off, if our plan is to blind B main off contact and flush out this whole area, why are we buying full shield over an extra missile and a stun? By double rocketing the left side, all of these blinded people will be flushed into the open for Teo to farm. But Sadek's quick thinking might have protected Carmine Corp since he deployed his Cove right as the flash hit. And now both teams are taking a step back to let the dust settle. And if you look at the map, I think their plan was to have Harbor wall off all three chokes and Omen deploy the smoke so that he and Yoru could teleport in together while Vice's flash gets them info. That hit looks strong, but because they got stuff, they have to come up with a plan B. Vice and Omen hang back to catch anyone getting aggressive after the battle, while these three take Mound behind a haunt. But that doesn't stop Soulcast from jump spotting. He gets punished with some chip damage and falls back to site while the offense move up and start spraying around for some cypher trips while Fade grabs the orb. But they can't find anything. That must mean Vice's setup is here. No shit, Teets. They just saw Vice. Of course her setup is here. Who taught you to talk like that? Jimmy, just because Vice is here, that doesn't mean her setup is. So suspecting the Vice is here, Harbor sends out his Cascade to cover the cross, and Martine remembers how in their previous C default, his clone got shot. So he gets close, finds the wall, and sends out his decoy. Now with the shield deactivated, going C would be way easier. But debate rotates back to B, the attackers open the door, and Harbor once again blocks off all three choke points. Elite then slaps his flash on the wall, and pops it. To the defense, anyone could be in this half circle, and with every choke blocked, they can't find out. So Teo goes back, while Carmine Corp inch their way, break some thorns, smokes go out, but they're stopped by Teo's missiles. Time is running low. Do they go back to B or force their way into A? And is Cypher asleep at this point?
30 seconds left.
The salvos just to slow things down. Soulcast going to be put under pressure though. He's committed to the site, which is a little bit risque, but he does have support. It's Soulcast to go down group.
The Harbor comp has beaten the 3-stack. And if this Bulldog was a Vandal or Phantom, the count would be even. Instead, it's a 2 versus 3. But Carmine Corp are hurt bad. Elite sends his thorns out to prevent a push, and his team moves up to plant.
It's delayed again towards the site. But the plant should be okay. I'm looking at who's left. Philo and Flyer, they don't really have anything to deny.
Flash to go in. It's no big util for this retake.
Sugetsu just got his smoke back up as well. Just going to come in and keep things dangerous. Trying to navigate, creep through, but that barrel might give it away. Clean work from KC. And let's talk about the composure here.
On Koi's following go, the Pistols got owned on A, while Karma Corp came back and sent out another Cascade Prowler combo to clear the area. I'm telling you, this Harbor tech looks nice. But now, it's time for a Koi timeout. Hey guys, how are you holding up? Coach, you gotta do something! Help us! Help us! Coming out of their timeout, Koi have decided that they're tired of losing and have invested into an op for Filu. But against a double controller comp, I'm not sure he's going to see much with this being in his face all the time. But their plan to set it up isn't bad. In their 3-1-1, the three are going to heavily contest Mound in hopes that Carmine panic and rush into this Elo machine. He gets out, and with two of the best ults in the game, Koi can play retake. But Carmine Corp are going B. They start the round by sending a smoke to cloud Yoru's vision, but quickly move up B behind Martine's dimensional drift. He drops his clone to break any trips, and Harbor again quickly blocks off all three chokes. Shadows temporarily stalls the attackers with both of his missiles. Man, I can't believe he used to get both of those back, which buys time for rotates. But should the defense really be pushing through a wall that slows you down? Especially when your team is being spammed through these smokes? Koi have no choice but to back off, but Martine pushes through and chases Shados off into spawn. He sends a flash and finally comes out. And now, normally playing back in B main to spam the spike isn't the worst idea, but Karma Corp recognize that Koi have strong ults for retake, so the offense have to keep fighting. So Fade sends out a Prowler from heaven, but Teo Spider pushes Martine back. Taking that space is too risky, so the attackers pile into Secret instead.
What the fuck is this?
Now with two vital pieces of the map, Carmine feel way more comfortable and brace for Koi's impact.
Can stall
Still
this.
lots of ults from KC side.
Yeah. Both gonna go in. And stall. That's wraps. That's wraps on 4, right? You can't. The time's just gone now. Even with the util here for Shados, it didn't feel like there was a chance to play, and I like the patience.
Harbor uses Cove not just for protection, but as a bubble that his teams could swing off of. Then there's the Vice ult, then another High Tide? Of course Koi have to save. But unfortunately, they can't even do that right.
It is. Carmine Core look very drilled on this. Maybe that timeout feels a bit excessive, but seeing how their previous results were, maybe they
Carmine Corp think they found the big weakness to Koi's defense. B. Every time they've thrown up this wall and Vice Flash, no one is in front of it. The defense just sit and wait behind the water like obedient puppies. So in their 0-3-2, Carmine plan on taking B, but have lurks later in the round to push through A in secret. But in Koi's 2-2-1, they're tired of being abused on B. The barriers fall, and Teo fires his rockets down B main, which cancels out Fade's Prowler, but Shadows feels like he has to fall. I mean, with Yoru's Gatecrash and Omen's Dark Cover on its way, and Cypher AFK in heaven, I don't blame him. Then the High Tide goes up, and Fade rips her Nightfall. B is theirs, but what are the A players doing? And Fade, why are you leaving? Okay, well, Yoru teleports in, and Harbor follows suit, but the A players are finally coming out? I mean, when Harbor goes for the plants, no one's here to protect him from Koi's flood.
This should allow pressure now to come in, and keep in mind towards the spike. Sadak wins the fight, though. There it is. Okay, good trade for Soulcast. That's a spike down in a really tough spot. I thought that could be a twofer. Oh man, Sugetsu with a banging shot.
So why were the A players just AFK? And does Philo not understand how angle advantage works? The offense can see you from this angle, dude. But with that kill, Martine sees a light at the end of the tunnel and somehow gets off B with the spike. How did you let him escape? Martine's sprinting to his team, but Soulcast wants to meet him from C.
Go from bad to worse.
Timing.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Spike again lost. Having to go back here. Elite fighting his way forward, though. Good impact. Soulcast, we're going to need you locked in on this.
Martine never expected this push from Vice, and Elite punished Teo and Cypher for this piss-poor spacing. Now it's a 1 versus 2, and the attackers have to come to Soulcast.
Can he defend the precious cargo? Ooh. Okay, well, they know where he is, but 40 seconds. They've got time to play with.
Yeah, just doubling up, playing it together.
Still got paranoia, too, with Sugetsu.
I like the re-wrap around here from them. Soulcast needs to do something here.
30 seconds left.
Timing's everything. Soulcast! Can't quite get it. The hesitation, the timing coming into play.
With 4 ultimates online, Koi are retaking A in their 2-2-1, while the offense's goal is to pressure Mound, start farming some ults of their own, but double back to their Vice, who's playing for info on A. Now with this many ults, surely this round is unlosable for Koi, right? Well, it starts with an exchange of smokes on Mound, Sadak's Cascade that makes Philo want to put his flash away, and instead Grabino ready his near sight.
Play from the corner, anyone to help him? No, feels isolated individual.
Both of these smokes have scrambled Koi's vision and have forced Grabino to retreat with barely any HP. Now, with the defense on the back foot, Martin grabs an ult point and Sedek sends his high tide that spans across site. Anyone could walk in behind this thing. So after spamming a few shots, the offense think they've done enough and start heading back to rejoin their vice, where after jump spotting for the entire round, finally decides to walk out knowing that her team's mount default probably attracted most of the defense. And she spots Soulcast jump spotting, but he falls as well. The Koi are petrified and have no map control. To make up for it, the newly formed 3-stack swings out to mound, spots nothing, and immediately pivots back to A, where Harbor's unleashed his reckoning. But as Carmine funnel into sight, Soulcast's Razor Vines have stalled them out. The attackers wait for a while, like, dude, thank God those things got nerfed. And Sedek realizes that these broken mollies have probably stalled long enough for the defense to be here. So like we saw with that last second plant, he deploys a shield bubble to make an attempt.
Advantage. 4v5 again.
Zadok looking really clear on this one. Here it comes. There's Soulcast with the ult. Are they prepared though? Pistols, are they ready? Soulcast has a lot on his plate now. Ults galore, but it finds very little. Sadok unaffected, and the rest of KC sitting deeper. They got to get a move on. Got to get the pressure on. Sadok, obviously unconfirmed if they've taken someone off for this defuse, but the spray from Elite, the connection from Elite, it's a response from finally Soulcast, but the wall drops and the kills come in. Carmine Core.
The first part of Carmine's retake was pretty great. Vice's Steel Garden stuffed the attackers in tree, and Teo tried to fry them in there, but he left a big-ass gap, and this was mistimed? Why not set both ults off around the same time to force Carmine to make a tough decision? Die, or lose their gun? Sedek's High Tide created a small pocket on site that the defense still had to push through, and they didn't feel comfortable doing so. Pile on a cascade for the entrance into tree, and Koi never felt confident enough to push in there and stop Carmine Corp from spamming the defuse. After blowing that retake, Koi were forced to save, and the pistols got rolled. But look at Flaya's cool spy cam. It's hidden in the trees. But despite the sick tech, Koi got flawless by the rifles. And now it's another full buy, meaning another chance to flame Koi. In their 2-0-3, it looks like they'd have a strong A fight planned with agents coming from 3 different chokes. Teo can even insta-burst through Secret with his missiles for an even stronger timing. But their 3-stack is about to set sail on some rough waters because the offense have 5 people headed straight for them. The round begins, and the offense cruise right past Shadows' missiles behind the protection of their cascade. But look! It doesn't even seem like the defense are even trying to defend Rubble. Grabino just smoked outside door, hit the switch, and blinded right where his Tails missiles went. Why not nuke Rubble and blind Root so you're covering all the bases? Then Yurdu can teleport into the star cover and fight with an added flash or something. And now can you blame Riot? This isn't a tier 1 Rubble hold! Now you can't blame them too much because not only did this cascade protect the attackers, but also this haunt blindside combo. If anyone tried breaking it or pushing through the wall, they'd be insta-scanned. And now pile out another Prowler to clear the smoke and make sure no one's pushed up. Wait, wow, look at how far this Prowler's going. And Rubble belongs to Carmine Corp. But now what's their plan? Well, because the offense have made so much noise on A, they feel like a bulk of the defense are here. So Carmine elect to leave Omen and Yoru here to hold the space while the 3-stack defaults elsewhere before finally ending A. But why these two? Well, in case the defenders decide to re-clear this area, these two are the only agents who can still get out with their lives. Now, as these 3 retrace their steps, Shadows has repositioned from Secret to Stairs and lets out his stealth drone. It scurries all the way past site, down main, but doesn't clear Rubble. Why not drone from site, so you can actually fully clear this third of the map? And now Grabino and Filu have to go clear the area themselves.
Coming in. Do they wait? Pressure on the other side. Lovely pressure toward.
A drone would have been nice. And not knowing who lies ahead, Grabino tucks himself in a pocket while the offense regroup after applying pressure on Mound with a cascade and haunt. But Grabino hears the offense gathering, so he calls over Flyer to help him double peek the attackers. Can they even the advantage?
Flyer, but smoke gonna go in. This is tough. It's tough. KC, so heads up.
Nope. And with those two gone, Carmine feel like B is weaker. So with little time left, they funnel past the dead bodies into sight, use a pair of Cove and Thorns to stall a waterfall push, and Shadows tries denying the plant with his missiles, but misses. Now Koi have to try and pull off the impossible.
Struggling to find impact. Late to the party, utility in play. First fight had, nice from Soulcast, but a good trade, and Martin doubles down. This is I mean, a stomp so
Carmine are predicting that the defense adjusts that way and are focused on C and B this time. Their prediction's right. Koi are primed and ready to take Rebel this time with Omen in a new position in their 2-0-3. But Teets, almost every Lotus video you bitch about Rebel control. Why? Just stop, it's so annoying. Because despite how many times I bitch about Rebel control, teams still don't take it. Tell me, Jimmy, would you rather defend 1 choke point or 4? Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, the buy phase ends and it looks like Koi have taken my advice and double nuked Rebel. But they don't invest their paranoia. It's quiet this time. Because the attackers are pounding it through B and Mound behind their patented Cascade and Prowler push, then late Haunt. And now within the first 10 seconds, Martin skips through B main, protected by his Harbor's Cascade, opens the door, and these 2/3 of the map belong to Koi. But you know this big-ass high tide that Setup keeps sending across C? Well, this time, Carmine Corp are using it. If you constantly just throw out and never use lurk smokes, the defense are just going to disrespect them. So Setup sends out his wall while Fade pins back the defense with her Prowler, and KC's IGL goes hunting.
See.
He's trapped with the spike, but Sadak thinks quick by tossing it over the wall and back to his team, and Sugetsu rips his paranoia, predicting someone's coming to swing his Pookie Bear. And now to get Sadak out, Sugetsu sends out a smoke for him to ride around in, while Martin wants to drag the 3 players off his IGL by opening the door and hopping into his ult.
maybe even elite. Oh my god, no, Sadak! He just gets set up for it. I had no idea he's still around, and now we've got problems everywhere. Others to find Flyer.
After Yoru faked his team's pivot into B with his dimensional drift, Elite wanted to clear the area, but forgot to check underneath him. And it was this kill that gave Martin the green light to teleport back, clear side for his team, while Flya tried making a play but ended up getting flushed out by Harbor's Cascade. Now, despite being tasked with an impossible retake, Koi do have one last win condition. With their guided salvos and flash, Philo and Shadows can flood in and make a big play when Carmine plant the spike. But as soon as Sugetsu plants, Martin flashes spawn to beat back Koi, and Sadak deploys his cove to clog up spawn. Koi need to break that. They do. Stun, but then Sadak just puts up his high tide. And Grabino, where the hell are you? Your paranoia would have been nice. But now, too much time has passed, and Koi have to save.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression.
I think Carmine Corp are enjoying using this high tide on C. It creates a ton of pressure, isolates Sentinel utility so you can walk in and bait it out, and it keeps the defense distracted for a long time. So in their 3-1-1, they're defaulting Mountain again, while the defense continue to fight A. The defenders start with their smoke outside door and missiles, while the offense march up Mound behind their dark cover, Cascade, Flash, Teleport, Haunt. The space is theirs, you get the point. Soulcast is forced back, but not before taking damage. Now look at the defense's setup. Cypher has moved his trapwires off B and has laid them out past Vice's wall on C. Koi feel like because this year keeps getting baited out, they can trick the offense into thinking, okay, we got their wall, let's leave. But then the trips are still here holding the space. So as the offense move up, Martin sends his decoy, but that gets spammed. In response, Sadak raises his high tide while his team are spamming the ground for thorns and trips. But once Grabino smokes the choke and Elite hears this stealth drone coming at him, his team starts coming back. Do Carmine push this deep?
Still in place over towards C. A lot of invested utility. Pressure.
Nope. Philo just wanted the shear. But because Carmine no Koi pushed this far, that means that the defense must be stacking B and C while keeping 1A. But Koi have a read on that read and have a high-low posted on A main, waiting for Carmine to come back and re-clear. Do the offense expect this stack?
This is still not comfortable.
They did, but the problem wasn't the stack, it's that the defense still have rubble control. Carmine won it, but without a Viper Wall to help them leak back out, what else could Carmine use? Their cove!
This Sadak trying to give him steps forward. Here it is. Filu gonna be here. Has to be up to the test, and well, wasn't him to do it, but job done.
Similar to how we've seen the shield orb used before, Harbor can use his cove to gather info or entry with. The offense can either leak out and burst through this bubble or punish whoever's trying to break it because the offense will hear their shots and know their location. But in this situation, I think Martin flashes on Harbor and Shadows' missiles flushed out the smoke, but Vice's Steel Garden has the offense running. This ult and then Prowler allows Carmine to scoop the spike, swing through main, smoke main, tap the switch, and pivot into secret. Thanks to Sugetsu, who's held this map control, a split like this is possible. The attackers file into secret and get caught in 4K. With little time left to plant, Philo hops into his dimensional drift to try and stall it. He spots Yoru, Vice, Fade, and Omen.
They still need to work with the information. They've basically seen everything they can. Ult now going to come in, and Sugetsu stands tall, doing brilliantly here. Filu just behind the curve, being completely outdone by Sugetsu with some vintage composure from him. And Filu with 40 HP.
Koi used all the utility early in the round, and without smokes, they just had to swing Karma Corp dry. Yeah, so Koi suck, but I'm enjoying breaking down this harbor. Sure, he might be buffed by the time this video comes out, but it's neat seeing teams take the worst ages in the game and forming game plans with their kits. And Sadak has one more trick up his sleeve. The sides are flipped, and Carmen are fighting for rubble with 4 people, while the offense are defaulting across the map in a 1-3-1. The defense make the first, 100 moves by smoking, cascading, opening the door, teleporting into the smoke, and haunting high. Basically, they have rubble. But the neat thing about starting Harbor and Tree is that his cascade is angled to allow him or his team to scale to rubble safely, and it blocks off any attackers who decide to stay en route. And now, after losing A, the offense take B main by contacting forward, vice flashing, then Yoru flashing across so they can hit the switch. Similar to how Carmen defaulted these parts of the map at the same time, so have Koi, just less safe without this wall. And now the offense have smoked main to claim the space and want to use this cover to bait out elite sheer. But with Harbor's high tide covering B and then C, that won't be easy to jump spot. So the attackers elect to wait a while, like a long while, and finally use their stealth drone to clear a path. But after flushing front B with a prowler, Martine wants to open the door and hit them from the back.
It is being respected to an extent. Whoa. T to Martine there.
Martine falls, but now when they plant, Harbor wants to flood in with his cove.
Cross water.
Flooding in.
Yeah, they're still fancy and go at this. They wanted to have a brawl on it. Fly is still so disconnected. It is the 4 on the site, and right now it's KC winning out on the site itself. They need to bring in the bodies. Flyer needs to join up now. 10 HP or not, it doesn't matter. They need the help. Sugetsu still with...
Harbor's smokes created a safe path for Carmine to flood into, but neither team feels safe to go near them. But time's low. Koi have to go.
Trying to plant.
10 seconds left.
Okay, util back on Sadak. I mean, it looks so simple. Well, with the plant down, this... They'll sooner forget.
Maybe Harbor isn't a bad agent. I mean, Crew did use him on Icebox and he looked awesome. You don't believe me? Then watch this video.